Alrighty, looks like we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching, drop me a like, say howdy. I'd love to know that you're having a great time. So, today we're going to chat about two really cool topics. One is the RBA, and the other is 5 levels of financial freedom. All right, everyone, rates are on hold again, and it's not really shocking, right? But the why behind it actually matters a lot for us investors. And before I dive in, yes, if you're wondering, I'm actually on the cruise right now, hence the Hawaiian shirt. And no, this isn't about showing off. It's about making a point. Because to me, financial freedom is exactly this: being able to live life on your terms, spending time with family, creating experiences, all while your money keeps working for you. And yes, I am working on the cruise ship because, yes, I might be on a holiday, but it's a little bit more than that. I'm actually spending 4 to 5 hours a day working, right? What a concept. Now, for the magic of the internet and Starlink satellites and all of that, we get to do that. Now, for those that are new here, welcome to Properties and Beers. I'm Gaurav Gupta, CEO and founder of Ethical Property Investments. We help everyday Aussies, people just like you and me, properties that do good for the community and make you money. So tonight, I want to cover two things. Number one, what the RBA's decision means for us in the months ahead, and the 5 levels of financial freedom. It's a framework I teach as a senior leader with Tony Robbins. Usually I share this in private, Tony Robbins, but today I want to bring it to you because education like this is just too powerful to keep behind closed doors. But remember, information is only powerful when you use it. So my challenge to you tonight is to use this wisely. And of course, this is Properties and Beers. So what do I have here today? I have a blue Long Island iced tea with a twist of Red Bull, also known as a bullfrog. That's right. So let's give it a go, and I'll tell you what's in there. Wow, it actually tastes like someone poured Red Bull in a Long Island instead of Coke. So cheers, guys. Wow, um, it's alcoholic. So, what the deal with this is that it is a Long Island iced tea, and instead of the orange liqueur or Contro that they typically use, they use a blue curacao and topped it up instead of Coke with a Red Bull, and that's what this is. So it is. Don't don't be surprised if I get a little bit tipsy by the end. It's quite nice, a little bit sweeter than I like my drinks, but I'll take it any day of the week. Um, so, what about you? If you're having some beers and drinks, drop it in the chat and let us know what you're having. So, the first topic, RBA decides to hold the rate steady. So the RBA held rate steady this month. It's not a surprise, but let's unpack why. The jobs market is still strong. Inflation, 3%. It's in target range, but still creeping up. The big boogeyman, stagflation. High prices with a weak economy. That's something we do not want. And here's what the governor said. We're not trying to bring prices down. That cat's already out of the bag. Once prices are up, they stay up. We just want to keep them stable. So if you're waiting for prices to drop before you invest, unfortunately, you're going to be waiting forever, especially after the October announcement that they had yesterday of the 5% deposits, which went live yesterday. We're seeing the strongest market growth that we've seen in a long time. Now, my prediction is in terms of rate cuts, we may see one more before Christmas, luckily in November. But let me basically throw it to you. Do you think they're going to cut before the end of this year, or do you think they're going to hold longer? Drop it in the chat, whatever your opinion is as to what's going to go on. Uh, but here's the truth: whether they cut or not, that, my friends, is just noise. You don't build wealth by gambling on headlines. You build wealth by thinking long term. So, and that's exactly why I can be here, cruising with my family, and still be here with you doing properties and beers and be with my clients, taking care of those appointments. Because for me, it isn't about escaping work. It's about building a life where work and freedom exist side by side. Let me say that again, because it's such a powerful point. This is not about escaping work. It's about building a life where work and freedom exist side by side. Now, I see so many investors paralyzed by fears, waiting for the perfect move while they act. Meanwhile, people with a long-term plan keep building wealth quietly and in the background. And here's the thing: don't let today's headline steal tomorrow's freedom. And that's why I actually do want to share with you right now the 5 levels of financial freedom, because this is the roadmap that takes you from survival to freedom at the end of the day. Now, I speak to so many people like, oh, how much you want to earn financial freedom? And everyone says, hey, $100,000. Yeah, but what is that $100,000 going to do for you, right? And so, actually, before I go deeper, some more drinks. Hopefully, you can hear the Michael Jackson in the background. It's pretty cool. Um, so, so you know, in my work with Tony Robbins, I've had the privilege of teaching thousands of people these 5 levels, and every time I see the same light bulb moment, that is where I am, and that's where I need to go. Because here's the thing, right? If you set a target, you kind of need to know where you're going to go. Otherwise, the target's useless. So here they are. Level 1, financial security. This is where your basics are covered: your food, your rent, your bills, your insurance. Now, if you're stressed about bills, my friends, you're not free, you're a hostage. So if you want to set your financial freedom targets, the first step you should do is financial security. And what does that mean? Figure out what your absolute minimum lifestyle is: food, rent, bills, insurance, whatever it is, your absolute minimum lifestyle. And that should be your first target: financial security. Step 2 is financial vitality. So whatever your financial security number is, plus dining out, holidays, entertainment, kind of like a 50% of the life that you're living right now, right? So your basics plus 50% of some of the few comforts, right? So vitality, in other words, is when money stops being about survival and starts being about actually living a life. Once you get to your financial vitality place, which for most people, excluding the mortgage repayment, is somewhere around that 50 to 70K, right? A lot of people actually feel financially free at that point in time, believe it or not. And before I get to step 3, some more drink. For those that have just joined, this is a blue Long Island, also known as a bullfrog. My Indian bartender said a bullfrog is, this is amazing. So step 3, this, my friends, this is kind of what most people believe financial freedom is. It's actually financial independence, where your investments cover your current lifestyle. So independence is when work becomes a choice and not an obligation. Because, the thing is, everyone's like, oh, I want to give you financial freedom. Why? What are you going to do once you achieve the financial freedom, right? So in my case, what I would suggest is find out what you're going to do when you achieve financial independence, where your investments cover your current lifestyle. Independence is when work becomes a choice and not an obligation. And level 4 is financial freedom. And you're like, hey, Cora, did you say there were 5 levels? Well, there are, right? Financial freedom is actually level 4 of the financial freedom levels, right? It is when options open up, where you can say yes to travel, to helping family, to upgrading your life, right? For most people, that's actually higher than that $100,000. That's probably closer to $150,000, right? Freedom's when you stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, do I want it, right? That's a quality question to have. Do I want it? And level 5, that, my friend, is your absolute financial freedom. This is when you're living your dream life, and this number can change. This is when this is when you're living life on your terms. Multiple homes, philanthropy, legacy projects. Money becomes a tool for meaning rather than a tool to exist. Right? This is absolute freedom. Isn't about how much you have. It's more about how much life you can choose to live, how much more juice you can get out of life. Right? Now, remember, I just spent a whole session, like a 1.5 hour session with clients, diving into this. But tonight, I just wanted you to take one thing: know your level. Because once you know where you are, where you want to go, then you can climb onto that and be on purpose. And instead of just drifting in life, right? You've got to, at least you've got purpose and a target to achieve. And that, my friends, is really important when you talk about financial freedom. So let me ask you, which level are you at right now? 1, 2, 3, or even higher? Feel free to drop it in the chat. So I'm going to wrap it up. We chatted today about the RBA pause being short-term noise, freedom, not about getting headlines, but about building a roadmap and climbing it step by step. And trust me, the view from the higher levels is worth it, right? I'll show you a little bit of the view at the moment. So here's the view right now, overlooking the Pacific Ocean. And this is why I can be on the cruise right now. Still doing what I love, still investing it, because that's what matters. And yes, I haven't stopped work because I'm passionate about what I do and how I do it. I'm doing it smarter, being on the cruise ship, right? And so if you found tonight useful, hit follow on Ethical Property Investors because next week we'll be diving into co-living and why it's one of the strongest plays for long-term investors. Until then, enjoy your night, enjoy your drink, and remember, the best investment isn't the one that buys you things. It's the one that buys you freedom. Cheers.